All right, and welcome back. There comes a point in all our lives where, you know, we decide to move and move on. And when it comes to selling a house, one of the things is most people don't realize that there are a lot of things you can do in advance that will really kind of help, not only, well, it'll help. I'm having a stroke right now. This is my second show, folks. No, what I was going to say is that there are a lot of things you can do that will actually enhance the value of a house and make it easier for a new prospective buyer to kind of visualize himself within the space.
Exactly.
So here with us today is Shannon Campbell with StyleCo, who's going to take us through a few options, a few things that you should consider. Welcome.
Thank you. Thanks for having me back.
You know, the idea of even starting to get ready for a move just makes me do this. It's, and I think most homeowners are the same. You just, there's that panic of what have I got to do when we think about filling the boxes and everything. But even before you get to that point, the house has got to be ready for somebody to come through and walk through and take a look at it. And it's not just the cleaning, it's all that preparation, and it panics us, I think.
Yeah, there's an awful lot to do, and that's part of what StyleCo comes in and recommends. We make recommendations. So, and there's a lot of things homeowners can do prior to the staging process as well. A number of things, you know, curb appeal. Huge, absolutely huge. If you have a door on your home that has peeling paint or it's really just well worn, you know, paint it or replace the door. If you're selling, you're ready to list in the summer months, put out some nice flowers, urns with some colors. You know, that always draws people in. The color brings people in. And in this buyer's market, you need a little bit of an advantage. So, yeah, that's some of the things you can do on the outside. On the inside, there's numerous things prior to the staging process that all make a difference to the owner's bottom line at the end of the game.
Yeah, see, I'm panicked about just making sure the house is clean because somebody else is going to be walking through it.
Yeah.
But that's not really what people are seeing when they come through, that prospective buyer, when they come through the house. They're looking at it through a whole different set of eyes, and that's where a stager can really be helpful in getting you focused to what's important and what really isn't important for the prospective buyer when they're coming through.
Right. Yeah, you know, it is really important actually to make sure that everything is just clutter-free. We always use that word a lot in the staging process. But really important too, if you have a home that hasn't been painted in many, many years, and you know, it's really showing, the walls are showing some wear and tear, or the colors are very, very outdated. For a small investment, you know, a few cans of paint, really great idea to put a fresh coat on a lot of the rooms if you can. And again, that's prior to bringing in a stager. I make those recommendations to people when I go in, but you can do all these things on your own, you know, before bringing a stager in.
And I think that's an important thing to identify, is that really a lot of the things that I'm sure you recommend are actually quite simple, all things given. It's just, it's such an overwhelming process because it's hard as an owner to kind of remove yourself from that sentimental space that you're in. You know what I mean? It's your space, it's populated with those things that are important to you. So, and as for a prospective buyer, those unfortunately really aren't relevant, you know. And so what would be some common things that you would right off the bat recommend? I mean, we've discussed paint. I mean, in terms of typical points of clutter, things that right off the bat would be a good consideration.
Well, always flow. So if you've got clutter on staircases or in hallways or any of that, that should be removed. If anything is broken, you know, if you've got leaky faucets or faucets that are loose, tighten them up or replace them. If you have kitchen countertops that have burn marks on them, you know, or are purple. If I can use that color. I hope nobody here loves purple. No. But, you know, replace it. For a few $100s just to have that kitchen countertop replaced. Small investment, and in the outcome always will pay off, you know, for that initial investment. Things like that. You know, for sort of focusing really on just fixing anything that needs fixing, literally. So if you have wall sockets, you know, maybe that are hanging, light fixtures that are loose, you know, anything that's really, really obvious, buyers notice that sort of thing. And you know, I would just never recommend selling as is. I would fix those things up prior to, because what people tend to do is they come in and they will lowball you. you know, and they'll take thousands off the initial offer.
Yeah.
Where you could be doing these repairs for much less.
And I think that's another important thing to identify too, is that by removing a lot, like I've seen a few of the shows obviously where they do these staging situations, and I mean, what a profound difference, because just even eliminating certain key pieces of furniture,
yes,
and allowing, and people need to, I guess the most common mistake I would imagine, and correct me if I'm wrong, is that people take the suggestion of making change very personally.
They do.
But it really isn't their home. You're selling it for somebody else and trying to create something that they can implant themselves in.
Yeah.
You know, visually.
Exactly. And that is hard to let go of. But you know, if you want to sell your home, you just have to think of that. You know, focus on that. You're not going to be living there anymore. So you want to appeal to the mass market, you know? So,
well, and I think for some of us, when you try to get your head wrapped around all of this and what do I do and how do I do it, we think there are a lot of dollars involved. You know, oh, I've got to do this and change this and make this and bring in this. I've seen some of the things that you've done. And it's simply, in a lot of cases, rearranging. It's not buying new furniture and putting in new pictures and doing all of those things.
Right.
You work a lot with existing. What do you have that's here? Okay, well, let's take this from this room, we'll put it here. Right. And that can make a world of difference as well.
It can, it can. And I also have an inventory of artwork and accessories, so it goes into people's homes, you know, on a regular basis. But, you know, often you can work with what people have. If there isn't, you know, maybe a lot of artwork on the walls, sure, then I will pull from my inventory and get some color in there, you know, those sorts of things, and accessories. But absolutely very easy to work generally with what people have, unless, like we spoke the last time, if furniture is really in bad repair, you know, something like that, then that's where rentals are necessary, because yeah, people can't see past that, you know.
So if someone was interested in obviously getting the, you know, somebody who's at home right now, how would they kind of initiate the process with someone such as yourself?
Well, I have a website, so you can either have a look at that. People usually go in, and there's a lot of before and afters, and all of my package prices and so on are on there. And my phone number is available. The website's www.styleco.ca. And the phone number is 519-404-5913. Give me a call and I can come out and do a consultation. That's generally how I start, and we go from there.
Great. You make me feel relaxed just sitting beside me, Shannon. If I could sell anything now with you helping me, I feel so much better.
Oh, well, great.
Thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
All right, we're back with more in a moment. Stay with us. What can you do? So there's a part for